right, welcome to the Two Men with Mike's podcast. I'm your host, Bobby Joe.
And I'm CJ, and I just always say the great, and that's really not it, but I've colored my beard.
You colored yours, yeah. Man, I'm gonna let mine. I'm waiting. It's not graying as fast as I wanted to.
Yeah.
But normally, to our good people out there, I normally ask CJ what he did this weekend. But I know what he did. I know where he was because he was at my wedding. Of course, a lot of you may know from Facebook, but some of you may not who watch the podcast. I got married. Been on last Friday. Been married about 4 days now, and
I was struggling with that.
Yeah, I hold up the hands. CJ had me hold up the hands before we started recording, so you can see it.
Yeah, big congratulations, big shout out. You made a step
Appreciate
that I don't
it.
think I could do at this point in my life. And not saying there's anything wrong with it, but
Right. So tell me why
big
not?
ups.
Why not?
I've just gotten older, and I think maybe more. Is it called superficial or something? My thing is, I just want to. When I do it, it's gonna be. I have a couple of reasons, but one of the main reasons I want to be able to support that person without them ever having to wake up every morning and go to somebody else's job.
Oh,
You know,
okay.
and still live the lifestyle I live now. So
Right.
I'm not saying I'm rich or anything, but I do live a decent lifestyle. I get to travel when I want to do,
Right.
just go wherever. So and pay a couple of car notes at the same time. So I'm good. So I want
Right.
that same lifestyle still, and
Okay.
give it to the next person. So, and then the other thing is I think I have some type of mental because it's like the person it's hard for me, like in my head I'm always like the person I meet them, it's like, okay, everything's bed of roses, blah blah blah, you do all that, but then I get used to it. It's like having a new toy, and
And then you kind of get is it kind
yeah,
of like everything's great, and then in the beginning it's kind of like everything's great, and then as time goes on, is it and correct me if I'm wrong, kind of the newness is worn off,
yeah, it
the
wears
honeymoon
it
phase is
wears
over.
all, yeah, and when that phase is over, I'm just so, I just don't, that point deal too much with the
Right.
person anymore after that point. And that's what it's so hard for me. And I think that's why I haven't. But when I
Okay.
do, I know I'm gonna be a good husband. That's all I know.
Okay.
If I do.
Now, do you think? I think you asked me this before. Do you think there's an age where you like, hey, it's too old to
Oh yeah.
to get married? Because
I
I didn't get married to my 50. I
Yeah,
was
and that's
50.
what I was, that's what I'm gonna say. Knowing you getting married in your 50s, did you ever think anything what would have been too old for you? Like, I know, like me personally, it would be hard for me to get married at 60.
Right.
Um, 55 even. If I'm 55 and single, I'm just single. I'll be in that nursing home messing with the other old women in the nursing home.
Right.
I'm not gonna be married. I think it would be hard for me to get married at 55. So I was just saying about 55 would be too late.
Well, I think too, yeah, because we get older, we get set in our ways, and
Mm,
you're living alone, and then maybe you may not want to share a space with somebody you've been living alone
yeah,
that long,
yeah,
you
yeah,
know. So I don't think I would, yeah, like 60s or something like that. I'd be like,
yeah,
yeah, I'm out here living life. I'm living old. I may be in a 55 plus community in a
yeah,
ranch style home.
yeah.
Too old to walk up the stairs, but it's mine. It's mine.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
you know,
The women always say, "Oh, you want to get married when you get 55, 60 years old when you're not anymore good."
yeah.
Yeah, today 50s are the 40s and 30s. So, I even
When
say
they say
30s, but
when they say your equipment ain't working right, and
yeah,
you probably need
yeah.
somebody to take care of you now, take you to your doctor appointments. Now you want to get married.
Now you want to be married. Yeah. I think that would be in the back of my head the whole time while I'm standing up at the altar getting ready to marry. If I got married at say 60 years old,
Right,
I
right.
think I'd be thinking about how many people in the audience is actually thinking at that time. They'd be like, look at
Hmm.
CJ up there. He just wants somebody to take care of him. He got this old 28-year-old wife coming up. she
So
know.
would you what's the lowest you would go? Like I know a lot of our counterparts date women who are 20 years younger than them, or I could never do it. I couldn't do it.
It would be hard. I mean, I think I would probably be about 10 max.
10.
Yeah, and sometime but to be honest, I think sometime I would want to be in the same decade as my
Right.
wife. You know, like when the birthdays come around, and if she's 41, at least I'm 49. At least we're in the same, decade,
Right.
right? Yeah, the decade,
Right. Right.
and
Right.
inside the same decade, at least once or twice. Through our
Hmm.
times. But I think 10 max, because I think anything past that, you start losing the whole mental as far as who you're talking with, and what to talk about. I don't want to sit here. I'm talking about Sanford and Son coming on, and an episode of Sanford and Son. They don't know what that is, but they can tell me, like the latest Soldier Boy song, which I don't. Well, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know either.
Yeah. So it's like you want to have somebody to communicate, because at the end of the day, that's what it is the communication. And
Right.
it's hard, and I'm not saying it can't happen, but it's
Hmm.
hard to be with someone that's 20 years your younger, or 20 years your senior, and then you're
Hmm.
trying to have some type of conversation. But if none of you guys are relating to each other, there's no conversation, in
Right.
the long run. So I think that's the majority of a relationship, is the conversations.
Right.
So you know
Yeah, I think, well, since I'm 50, I always joke, but I think you got to be at least 37, 38 to ride this train.
Oh, really?
37 is pushing
You
it, but
going
as I
down there, bro? You
as I
down
get
there?
old, as I get older, that it moves with me. So
Yeah,
if I'm
yeah,
50, 52, then it's going to be like 40. So it moves. It doesn't just stay there. As I get older, it would move. But yeah,
yeah. That
I just couldn't
36.
see. You said what?
No, I'm sorry.
36?
Yeah, I'm like, yeah, that 36 is probably my limit. Now, I've seen some 32, 33-year olds.
Yeah.
They can get it, but we going we
Yeah.
ain't dating. We not going nowhere. You know
Yeah,
what I'm
I
saying?
just couldn't, and then especially not even don't even consider 20 something.
Yeah, yeah.
Nah,
I talk to some 20-year olds quite often here where I'm at, and it's like you're like a
are
damn
they immature?
man. Even the mature ones, it's like you don't know jack. Like you're
Yeah.
like it's just I still talk to them.
Hmm.
Because in my head I'm like, okay, they're young. They haven't experienced what you and I have experienced through life.
Right.
So they don't know much. So I give them the benefit of the doubt. You might get one or two that's pretty smarter or articulate a lot more than I am in certain phases, but you can still tell that they're 20 something years old, like a 20
Right.
year old. And it's just,
Hmm.
and then it just, at that point, it's just like, wow, you know what? This is terrible.
Yeah. I
So,
even if they were mature, the whole time I would be thinking about their age. I wouldn't be able to
yeah,
get past it.
yeah.
You know. So with those, did they approach you or did you approach? I mean, then when you started talking, or I mean,
A lot of times, what it would be a trickle. I can't even get it out. Trickle
mhm,
effect. I'm talking about them
mhm.
youngsters not being too smart. I can't even see say trickle. See, I'm having a problem. Yeah, you can blame that on age, with the mind gets a little weak. But yeah, what it is a trickle effect, and what it is because of the area. I always tell you about is different. So everybody here, because it's a small area, they all mingle with each other. So you're gonna have your young, old, in between, black,
Mhm,
white, Asian, others. Everybody's always in the same place. So what
mhm.
happened is you start just, I might go up and say something to a 20-something-year-old. Sometimes I'll see a 20-something-year-old and I'm thinking they're in their 30s.
Okay.
From looks. And I'm like, hey, how you doing? And start talking to them. I'm like, man, you're like, whoa, how old are you? Oh, I'm
Right.
20, I'm 25, 26. I'm like, whoa, that's too. Where your mom at? Which usually mama might be in there sometimes too. But
Right.
uh, so what happens is, then they just kind of introduce you to their friends.
Hmm.
And I would say this: a lot of people don't see age when they're out in these areas together.
Okay.
If you're okay, you're cool, hang out and whatever. I have one guy that I know here that I hang out with him and his crew, because a lot of people have their little crews, but his crew, and he's like, he made it up like that purposely. He took an
Hmm.
age out of every decade.
Oh, for real?
Yeah, so he has an age of every decade that hangs out on a regular with them. So you'll
Right.
see him coming in there, it's almost looking like from short all the way up to tall, to the
Right.
tallest, but it's just by age.
By
And it's so
age.
fu- yeah, it's so crazy, man. They're like nobody never said, just age is not a factor here.
Hmm.
It's just what conversation that you have and what you can't, if you can hang, you can hang. If,
Right.
with the, like I said, let's say the big boys, or you hang with the younger crowd, you can do that. You know.
Well, do you think okay, so some of these younger women, are they receptive? Are they like, oh, well, he's an older gentleman?
Oh yeah, they're
You
very
know,
receptive. I'll tell you that. That's why I said
right.
that's why
Yeah.
the age is not a much of a factor. If you can, and I'm to be honest, like me back in my whole days, I knew how to talk to a lady, so it didn't
Right.
matter, right? So I
Right.
know I call it chameleon. So sometimes I can just turn that chameleon and that 20-something-year-old, I know just to really just
Know
say
what to
little,
say to her.
yeah, little goofy
Yeah.
things. Nothing really serious. I can't go over there and talk about the elections and nothing like that with her.
Right. Right.
I got to go over there and, like I say, go talk about Soldier Boy. I don't know what song he got out, but you know, say something about the latest dance, and or
Right.
it make them, they're gonna laugh. So and automatically they don't just see the age; they just see like the personality. Um,
Right.
so like, and that's just for me. Like I said, it's just age is not seen here that much.
Right.
You know.
Right. Oh, okay. Yeah, and that brings me to another question. So, I've been seeing again a lot of stuff on Facebook and in these groups I'm in, but it just seems I don't know how long this has been going on, but it seems like a lot of men are complaining, or I don't know if it's coming from being lazy or just not wanting to self accountability or deal with their own BS, but kind of like, oh well, I'm the prize. The woman should ask me out. Why can't you ask me out? Why can't you make the first move? Take me out on a date. Because it seems like a lot of men will, from what I'm hearing from women too, be in their inbox or text them, be like, "What you doing?" Like he's what you doing me to death. Never makes any plans, and then when I bring it up, it's like he says, "Well, you set something up." And then you get back with me. It's almost I won't say maybe trend is a bad word for it, but I just see this a lot, and I'm like, I'm kind of old school. If I see a woman I like, I'm the pursuer. I court her. You know, if I'm interested, I reach out. If she's interested, I plan dates, follow through, be consistent. Do you kind of see that? If so, I mean, where do you think this narrative where this is coming from?
I do see it a lot.
Yeah,
Where is it coming from? I'm not.
like where's it coming from? Like a place like with the men. What do you think? Their reasoning or what is it? Or it's like why are you acting that way? Or why are you?
I'll go a little deeper, somewhat
Okay,
deeper about this, and
all right,
I had two sides because
all right,
I'll even say from the top. Well, no, I'll take the back. I'm gonna have two sides from it, but
okay,
I'll tell you, and I ain't gonna say deep, but I think the dude's been playing. A lot of guys have been playing so long, as far as like player,
mm-hmm,
to the point to where they've gotten to comfortable to having the lady do everything for them
okay,
instead. And I think it just kind of went down the line as obviously just dudes out getting all these women and getting women get women. It
mm-hmm,
got started probably getting expensive or they had no money, but it's still
right,
trying to do it with this lady, that lady, and then now women these days are making this a few dollars. They probably started out giving up, like, hey, hey, let's go do this, let's go do that. I'm a
right,
buy this or let's go buy dinner. Where the dude got comfortable with it and then just
mm-hmm,
started for what's it called? I'm mine over here buffering, but the guys just started getting comfortable with it.
yeah,
So when they got treated like that with that one young lady, and they was like, man, this is gravy. You let her pay for everything. I don't have to pay
right.
for nothing, or I don't have the money to pay for it, but I'm still trying to kick it.
Because
So
there's some women willing to do it out there do it. Right.
exactly, and there's
Right.
quite a few to be honest, and even further, a little bit further is like men. I mean, you know how they said women right now, like men are not. There's no good men out there. So when a
Hmm.
young lady get even the men that she thought was great or good, he showed her he was pretending he was, and then she's out, and let's say just tricking off on him, and
Hmm.
come to find out that dude's not as good as what she thought he was. He was just playing the game too.
Right.
So I think a lot of those factors kind of play into all that now.
Hmm.
Now, I'm gonna tell you, like I have a personal experience with it
Okay.
because I literally at one point was out with all these women, always buying them stuff, as far as like anytime we went somewhere, it was all because I always want to be old fashioned.
Okay.
So you got to figure I was maybe talking to, let's say, 4 women at one time, just dating. It's just all dating, right? So I'm not committed to any of these young ladies. But the thing was, you have 4 women that you're entertaining. You only having 7 days in a week, right?
Right.
You might see 2 of them twice within that week.
Okay.
And you see the other ones, the other 2, the rest of the days or whatever it may be. So your day is full. Taking these young ladies out, that's movies, dinners, whatever entertainment, out the drinks, and drinks get expensive, especially with me because I drink a lot.
Right.
I drink, so I'm like, bring the bottle. But
Right.
so I'm constantly spending this money and constantly seeing these ladies never even reaching for their pocket, let's say purses, pocketbooks, whatever, or money to even offer to say, hey, you did it this day, that day, let me get it. So you guys see all the money that was spent,
Right.
and so at one point I said, I'm sick, or it's like, hey, you'd be like, I'm flying out to come see them, or I'd be like, hey, you want to come see me? I'll send you a ticket.
Right.
Those things add up big time.
Yeah.
And you don't see them reciprocating that. So
Right.
and I'm almost a little bit still to that point. I'm like, man, these mugs, I'm not gonna be spending all that money now.
Right.
So we go out sometimes, like, I've even said it, or somebody like, hey, let's go this place. Yeah, I go. You buying? You know what I'm saying? 'Cause you want to, you offering it to me, but you want it. So is it really an offer to me, or is it offer to yourself? Like, you're just trying to get that money to go to this place. And
Right.
I've actually ran into women. And I just recently, I was talking to someone on Facebook about this. Young lady was talking about men doing the same thing. And I'm like, well, she was talking about women being superficial or whatever it may be, putting value on a relationship. I was like, yeah, as a young lady asked to go out, she asked me to take her out, and I'm like, oh, all right, yeah, for lunch. I've known her for 3 months. This is the first time we ever went out. I'm like, oh shit, yeah, let's go have lunch. She's like, okay, but then she says the place that she want to go, and I was like, well, I didn't want to go there because it's fine dining. This is our first time actually going out. It's just lunch, like 45-minute lunch, whatever.
Right.
Don't like the place anyway, so I'm like, nah, I'm not trying to go there. I'm just go to this regular place. Nah, why you can't take me there? Nah, granted, how you said, in conversation before that, she was saying that how she always wanted to go there, but she couldn't. It's not basically in her budget to go there.
Right.
But she suggested it on me. But I don't want to go. So she got mad, called me everything under the book because I wouldn't take her to that place.
Right.
And then stopped talking to me. So, you start seeing things like that, and you're like, man, how about, just flip it, and I respect the person that take it the reach for the bill here, there, or even just be like, hey, I can pay for this, or
Right.
even if you can't pay for the whole thing, hey, at least here, let me put some money for the tip or something. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So I personally have been like that, and actually till recently, I just like, what, forget that. I'm
Right.
tired of paying everything, and you're sitting over there looking like and I guess if you're being old fashioned, I guess you're supposed to, but it's the point of supposed to and having to do it. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Right.
So I'm just rambling on about that, but
No, no, I get you. I get you. I get you. No, I think and I'm like, I'll go from a point of view where it's like they haven't gone out on a date yet, and maybe they met in a group or some way they met, and it's just like the guy isn't putting forth any effort. Like you said, men are pursuers, and it's like he's taking this lackadaisical approach and expecting her to do everything. And he's just like, no, you set up the date, or why don't you ask me to go out on a date? Why don't you plan something? Or like I saw a guy in a group one time, he was like, you have the most authentic connections with a woman if you find free stuff to do. If money isn't involved, like on the date, like we first going out, that's where you get the most authentic connection. And I posted, I was like, bruh, just if you don't have money to take her out on a date, just say you don't. because I felt like he was BSing. Because I'm like, well, that may have been your experience. You could still have some of the most authentic experiences with a woman, whether you spend money on her or not. But he was trying to make it like, well, don't spend any money on her. Go hiking or go on a picnic or do something like that. I felt like he was trying to get out of like, I'm not going to spend any money. And I'm not saying you need to go to the most expensive restaurant or even go to a restaurant or do anything like that. But just yeah, great. If you can find something to do that's free, that's even better too. But he just to me was making it seem like he was just trying to get out of not paying, and I think with some men, I mean, if you can't afford to take her out, then just say that, or
That's what I say.
but it's just it's all this other stuff, and then she's being accused of being a gold digger or taking advantage of you or trying to get a free meal out of it. Which some cases that might be true, but I think for the most part it's not. So if you don't have the money to take her out, just say that. Or
Yeah.
you look and you wait for her to just plan the date. I mean, I just don't. I think some of it maybe they just want to chill at the house. I think some women may have made it easy for them to do that. But I mean, not every woman is going to be like that. They're going to be like, yeah, you got to take me out.
Yeah.
So I don't know if it's just some men are being lazy and a lack of finances. I just don't know where this whole narrative when it started, where it
I,
came
I
from.
really think it's just being a part of lazy and a part of
Yeah.
women. Women have made it easier for men to be like that or to do those things or to do those. I really think
Right.
that. Um,
Right.
like you said, if you don't have the money, that's one thing.
Right.
Excuse me, my own. But if you don't have the money, that's one thing, right? I mean, and you can still do things without the money. Just like you said. I mean, even if it is like if she is hungry, I guess, or whatever. I mean, bro,
Right.
go Google a little dinner and just make her some dinner, or
Yeah.
I'm sure you should have some groceries in your house if you're not living with your mom or whatever. So,
Right.
uh, there's other things. There's other solutions,
Right.
especially to not having money. Now, in a way that the guy said, there's a better connection. I think you can have a connection with a person, but like I said, I mean, sometimes you don't have to spend money, but you still do, I guess.
Yeah. At some point, you're gonna have to spend money. She's not gonna be doing. There's only so many free things you can do.
Yeah,
You know.
and that's what I said. So I think you can make the
Yeah.
connection, but in the end, I really think it's the women that has made it a lot more easier. Like I just said earlier.
Right.
I mean, they, I should. There's so much I want to say about that. It's just like, but I would like just ramble on about it. Well, I
Now
guess you asked
you
me
give us
for
give us a little preview. No, but
yeah.
no, I get what you're saying though. I don't know. I just find it sometimes just mind boggling. Like, but I actually feel sorry for women these days in the dating scene because
I don't
you don't feel sorry for them. Why not?
know because I feel sorry for men
You feel sorry
because
for men?
I'm in them trenches, and
Is it because the money we spend or
nah, just women are just BS these days. And I would just say, well, I didn't say that. Where I'm at right now, there are a lot of there's just so much BS, man. It's constant just BS, man. And stuff you have to deal with these women, and then and I've said this before. It take a lot sometimes for a man to go approach a young lady that that never spoke to, never don't know anything about her. You have to risk that rejection. Women don't necessarily have to risk it. I mean, how often do you ever see a woman be rejected by a man, much less even approach a man? Even if a woman does
right,
approach a man,
right,
99% of the time she won't get rejected by him.
right,
But dudes, they just say it's basically a 50-50 for us. You
yeah,
know, at best 50-50.
yeah,
You have to approach that young lady, and try to figure out what is the right thing to say to her just from saying hello, my name's CJ.
right,
Or you have to go up to her and like, hey, how you doing? Because
right,
women are like, why? Women bust your head just for coming up to you saying, hey, how you doing?
right.
You know,
Yeah. Yeah.
automatically think there's ill intent, and
Right.
it's not the case. It's like,
Right.
dang, I've literally been out and just, hey, how you doing? Over here, let me get you a drink. You just, and I got my head chewed off for being nice, like
Because
that.
they think that they thought there was some ulterior motive.
Yeah, and at the time, and it really wasn't. I mean, I can tell you, this young lady, I literally was just being nice. She looked, I'm not gonna lie, she looked freaking miserable in life. I'm like, man, you don't need to be out there. Maybe you had a hard day. In my head, I'm thinking this. Maybe you had a hard day or whatever. I don't even want nothing to do with you. In my head, let me get her a drink. Let me, make her day a little better. Let me be, a
Right.
gentleman. And she chewed my head off like I'm just, Hannibal about to go eat her arm or something. You know what I'm saying? Just
Right.
like, just
Right.
thought I was the
Right.
worst thing in the world because I
Right.
offered her a drink. I can buy my own motherfucking,
Right.
MF and drink. What you think I ain't got no damn? I'm like, yo, I'm just being respectful. You
Yeah.
like, you kind of like you just having a, bad day or whatever. That's
Hmm.
I didn't want it. I didn't mean anything, but now, what I'm over here looking salty or something. What's up? I'm like, man. And then, in my head, I was like, I see why you sitting alone. you
Right.
know, And then later on, she did come back around
Hmm.
and was like, well, you just dudes always think because somebody's sitting there, they can approach them. I'm like, what else is a guy supposed to do? Then when
Right.
they don't
Exactly.
approach you, when they don't approach you, then there's a problem. Dude's gay.
Right.
Dude's this,
Right.
dude's that.
Right. Right.
Now we're approaching you, then you got a problem. Now it's a problem
Right.
because you're being approached. So I said that's why I say I think it's just as hard for dudes or
Right.
men.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. It is. I don't know. We'll maybe one day we'll all get this dating thing right, and everybody. I don't think we will, but I was just wishful thinking. I'm trying to be positive, glass half full.
But you can't. But see, you can't talk about it no more because you're married.
Yeah,
So,
I can't talk. I mean, I can offer my advice, but I
yeah, I
can't
just
really, yeah, yeah. But
no,
that's
I'm
it.
just
No, but you're
joking,
right.
man.
No. Yeah,
No.
well, that's gonna do it for this episode. We hope that you enjoy these episodes. And again, if you tell your friends, everybody to go on YouTube and like and subscribe to Men's with Mike podcast. You got any closing words there, CJ the Gray?
No, not at all.
No.
Well, yeah. If you
Yeah.
ever want to have a dark beard like mine, you can always just go down to Target. No, I'm just joking.
Do a sponsor commercial.
Yeah, that's about all I got, man.
Yeah,
My,
I've got nothing. I'm just waiting for mine to gray, and I'm just waiting at the gray.
I was waiting for mine to gray all the way out, and it never
Yeah.
would. And that's why I was like, you know what? Let me, and then give it time. Maybe it'll, boom.
It's taking forever. Before I was gonna die. Now it's taking forever. I'm like, hurry up and gray.
Yeah.
So yeah. So I don't know. I don't know. Maybe next time the lovely people out there on YouTube see me, it'll be even grayer. I don't know. It probably won't. But you guys take care. Enjoy your week, and stay tuned for the next episode. We'll see you later.
Later. Peace.